In this video, we're going to raise the walls on our massive shipping container enclosure for our reticulated python named Karma, who's over 20 feet long. To do this, we're going to have to fly out some professional help and even bust out the big power tools for this one. We're even going to change the design by adding a secret room on the side. We've been working on this for over a year, and for most of the last 9 months, this project has been at a complete standstill, but that is about to change in a big way. Last time we worked on this, everything kept going wrong, so I don't know how we're going to be able to make it this time. Not only is the metal heavy, but it also needs to be cleaned thoroughly in order to make sure it's welded, strong, and secure. Did I mention it was heavy? This is going to be very challenging. You see, having this enclosure finished is going to be a huge accomplishment and hopefully set an example of going way above and beyond to take care of the animals entrusted in our care. Here's the plan. Jordan Carpenter from our last cage building video is here to finish what he started. And if you want to know what happened to get to this point, then make sure to watch the other 3 videos. But if you're rebellious and you don't want to listen to me, then go you little rock star. Or if you need a little refresher, let me fill you in so you're not confused. Over a year ago, we started preparation to design and build a gargantuan 20-foot long enclosure for Karma, the reticulated python, that would enable her to stretch out to her full length. The first phase was mostly demolition, as the beams were stripped to make the support frame for the enclosure, and we made a giant mess. Also, I dislocated a rib and had to go visit the chiropractor across the street, but that's when the real hard work began. While our friend Dylan Clary was in town, we made a ton of progress disassembling the container so we could fit it inside the building, and that meant a lot of heavy pieces of metal falling on the ground. Then we had our friend Jordan Carpenter visit, and he began to help us figure out how to reassemble it together. But progress was really slow. After Jordan left, it just sat there and sat and sat. Until this week, Jordan came back out to finish what he started, this time with a vengeance. And that brings us to present day, I think.
I'm excited.
What do you hope is going to go differently this time?
I hope to get to a place where when I leave, everything can be finished without any welding. The long wall will be the biggest task for sure. Just hope the welder doesn't give out again. I think we can get there. We've got 5 days, so I'm optimistic.
Was Jordan being too optimistic, or did we really have a chance of getting all of the big pieces welded together in just 5 days?
We're good.
Jordan may be doing just fine, but Garrett, on the other hand, is lighting himself on fire. What?
What happened? I got caught on fire before you got here. It's okay, I taped it up. It's all good.
Yeah, dude, it's nothing. Just put a little tape on it. You're fine, bro.
I am pretty excited, though, about the idea that we came up with using, I think it'll work anyway. We'll see what happens when we get there. But using one of these walls to make, like, the Jeep.
You're going to have to wait to the end of the video to find out what that is, because it's going to be a huge surprise. This was a big moment because this was the first wall to go up in Karma's new enclosure. I had to jump in and help, so I set the camera down on a chair to do my job for me.
Without all this wasn't too heavy at all. I don't know how heavy it is now.
Spoiler alert, it's heavy, but not as heavy as the door is going to be. It might be a little hard to see on camera there, but I was actually doing most of the work.
Every time you come out of the bathroom, you're gonna be like, oh, and look out and you'll see you got the door framing it here, framing the lengthwise jungle look. Barely any shipping container left. This is the most expensive 2 feet of metal ever. It's stuck on something. There we go. It's out. That looks great. Cool. Now, I'll be right back tomorrow.
Don't show my weakness, Thomas.
Nothing could stop us now. Well, maybe a saw blade. And while that was happening, we got 2 little surprises in the mail. Oh, that guy's
not happy.
No, he's not. Oh man, those are a lot bigger than kiwi.
Those are beautiful. All right, let's get her set in here.
I'm still super scared of these guys, but not as much as I used to be, so I guess that's progress. Okay, back to the build. This was going to be one of the most challenging parts of the week because this is the long side of the enclosure and it needs to be rock solid. If you're like me and have no clue what Jordan is doing, apparently he was making sure the cage wouldn't fall apart because, you know, that would be really, really bad. Great job, Jordan. Here's the hard part. We need to stand this giant piece of metal up and mount it in place. Seeing both walls come up was way cooler than I was expecting, and you could really see the whole thing starting to take shape. But we still had our biggest obstacle yet, the door. Dun dun dun. And speaking of doors, it was time to test fit the glass doors that would act as part of the window so we can see Karma from the outside. But as always, things are never as easy as they sound.
That's not good. Look at this though. It's a little bit tight here. We can probably make it work. Super tight up there. Nothing about these beams are at all square.
We're running into a major problem right now. The doors don't fit.
Oh, flip it around.
Everyone's so happy to be wrong.
Try this one. I think that one's still gonna be a problem.
Well, I'm sure they'll figure something out because we have our hardest challenge yet. Isn't that right, Garrett?
Yep. I'm more concerned about that door. Q, turn the camera to look.
That's a big door, but luckily one of the few major obstacles remaining between us and Karma getting the enclosure of her dreams.
Okay, down. Got it.
We strapped it to this big pole to make sure it wouldn't fall over for what we were about to do next. Let me give you a hint. It's loud, slightly dangerous, and there's a lot of sparks.
I was just saying that this is exactly what I was doing last time when I set myself on fire. But this time it'll probably be different because I'm doing everything exactly the same as that time.
Google the definition of insanity. Cue epic saw montage. Reality most of the time is just so much less cinematic.
It's gonna be a big surprise.
This was easily the most dangerous part. We needed to take this giant door, move it into position, and tip the whole thing up so it could be welded and fixed into place. And with just 3 of us, who knows how this could go. First obstacle was fitting it past this pole. We solved this by twisting the door as far as we safely could and just barely managing to sneak it past. Well, here goes nothing. We were running into a huge problem. The door was too big to fit under the beam, so we had to get creative. And this was the really sketchy part. The only way we could fit the door in was to jack the whole beam up and shove the metal into place. And with that, the final piece of metal to Karma's new enclosure was in place. And as Garrett likes to say, all that's left is everything. Thank you so much, Jordan, for coming out and doing such an awesome job. We hope you guys will subscribe so you don't miss a single video. Also, leave a comment letting me know what your favorite part was. Peace.